when anyone asks me advice, they're like, yo, like, how do you work with these artists, or how do you do this? And it's just like, yo, I really don't know. It just happened. Like, it wasn't like I was like, yo, like, I need to work with this person, so I'm gonna like do everything. It was just like, it just happened. I don't know how to explain it, but I just tell them, I'm like, yo, just keep working. Like, every story is different. There's no formula to get big. It's just do the work. Find artists that you genuinely fuck with and that genuinely appreciate your work, and I hope it works.
Purpose in the Youth. Purpose in the Youth podcast. Welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only Bobbbaaaay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only Bobbbaaaay. Today in the studio, Nick Jandora. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, bro?
Dude, dropped a music video right before you got here. That's amazing.
Literally a couple hours ago.
Dude, just dropping videos, coming through for podcasts. Big content guy.
Hell yeah.
Big content guy.
Right.
So when I was doing the research for this podcast, I came across that you had moved to LA at one point. And I won't even say you moved here because you were kind of out here sleeping from couch to couch. There was a point that you had $100 to your name. It was your birthday, and you literally didn't have a place to sleep. And it amazes me because now somebody that, like myself, who's just getting to know you, I see you working with Skies, Young Pinch, Landon Cube, Lil Gnar. Like you're working with all these major artists, but then you read and you realize like he didn't just kind of wake up and get to this point. Like there was definitely some struggles along the way. Oh, yeah. How do you think, at least in that moment of time of having $100 to your name, not having a place to sleep, how has that negative moment been a positive thing to getting you to where you are today?
I would say mostly it just is like motivation because like I literally had nowhere to sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, like, I don't want to go back east.
Yeah.
I want to make it out in LA. And even though it was like a shitty time, like I could tell, I was like, yo, this is like rock bottom.
Yeah.
I was still like happy. I was like, yo, I'm still in LA. I'm still like doing what I love. Like, cause I don't really give a fuck about the like whole money thing.
Yeah.
But as long as I'm like doing what I like to do, that's all that matters. But the whole like $100 to my name is definitely like motivation. I'm like, yo, I gotta eat. I gotta like do something. But luckily, Neek let me sleep on his couch in the studio. Wow. In like North Hollywood, so I stayed there for like a couple months. Then I did like an Airbnb. I stayed in like a super shitty hotel for like a week where it was like single room, shared bathroom in a hotel. It was garbage.
Wow. Yeah, shout out to Neek for connecting us, for making this podcast happen. But so when you had originally came out here, was that more of a trip of just I need to throw myself into the environment and try to find a way to make this work, or why did you originally come out to LA?
So originally, I graduated college and had a degree and all that. And just all my friends and like my girlfriend at the time and my parents and shit were all like, yo, just get like a sales job or some shit like that, or just do something with your degree. And I was like, yo, like I don't want to do that. Like that's not what I want to do. And my girlfriend at the time was in law school, and I was just like chilling doing local music videos. So she ended up breaking up with me, and then I was like, yo, fuck this, I'm going to LA. And like a couple weeks later I was just like made the drive out to LA. Was staying with this girl at the time, and then basically shit kind of just fell through with that. And then I stayed at Neek's. That was on my birthday.
Wow.
So my birthday was like, I was like, yo, fuck this, I'm leaving this place and going somewhere else. I'll just be like sleeping on couches. But it was straight. Like,
you found a way to clearly make it work.
It worked out.
Yeah, it definitely worked out. We'll get into that in a little bit. Take me back to Martinsburg, West Virginia. That's where you're originally from. 17,000 people.
There's 17,000 people.
That's at least what Wikipedia told me. That's what Wikipedia told me. Could be wrong, could be right.
I would say like probably a third of them are like crackheads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So it's not a good small town.
I would say, I mean, there's good people, but it definitely has its bad parts. And I would say it's just like, I love it because I grew up there, and it's like all my friends are there, but it's a very unmotivating place. Like, people get stuck there super easily. And that's just like one thing. When I was in high school, I was like, yo, I do not want to get stuck here. I always just like knew that I wanted to live either New York or LA. And those were like pretty much the two choices. I was like, yo, I'm gonna live there. So
what was pointing you to those cities? Just like the energy of it, the young
just
creatives.
like mostly the creatives and just like shit going on. Like that's where shit happened.
Yeah.
Like shit doesn't happen in Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Yeah, you were probably the only music director in probably 120 miles or 150
No, there
miles.
are a few. There's definitely a few video directors, but they do a lot of like the run and gun style.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like a lot of talented people from that area. It's just you get stuck, and it's just like they're just like, oh, like I'm gonna just get a normal job because that's what's paying.
Yeah.
And it's super cheap to live in Martinsburg, so it's just like
People
you
just
get a
chilling.
job, a normal looking job, you just
Yeah.
settle in. But I was never like that.
Do you
I
think
was
there
like,
were any pros to growing up in a small town like that?
oh yeah, 100%, because there was literally nothing to do, so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna make videos. Because I started in high school, I did like YouTube videos, like sketch comedy, with one of my friends.
The Toad Jappy
Yeah,
channel.
Toad Jappy.
I came across some of that content.
So yeah, we when YouTube like first started popping off and we were like seeing people make money off of it, it was back when you would apply for a partnership. So you apply for a partnership, and then only partners can get paid, and then you get paid like, because we didn't have that many views, and I remember getting paid like a few $100s a month. And on like no views, like a couple thousand views.
Because this is early YouTube, they just want people to create content, so they're just building.
And
out
it was like the
partnerships.
first time they were like putting ads and shit, and they never had like the commercials at the beginning. It was just that little like pop-up ad. Yeah.
What inspired you guys to start the channel though? Was it just was it because you saw people were doing it and you like thought we could make our own stuff?
Yeah, we watched a lot of like Smosh, and like Live Lava Live, and a lot of like Tumblr YouTuber type people.
This is early, like 2011 almost, probably 2010, even earlier.
2006 to 2010. Yeah, it was super early.
Yeah, you were on the wave early.
Hell yeah,
Damn,
had to.
Yeah, and just started creating, and that was kind of like the beginning point of it all.
Yeah, most of, like it started off really like shitty,
Yeah.
and just like super easy gags and shit. But
Yeah.
then like as it kind of progressed, we started like writing a little bit more and like having a storyline and just doing shit like that. But eventually it kind of like popped off a little bit, like to the extent where we were like, oh yeah, we're like fucking lit. But now I look back on it and I'm like, yeah, that was
We were
nothing back
nothing.
then. Yeah.
But at the time, it meant everything to you guys.
Yeah, it was cool.
You guys were like,
Like we would go out and people would recognize us and shit.
okay.
And I worked at a movie theater at the time, and I had to quit because so many people would
Were
like
coming
come
up to you?
Yeah.
No.
And I was just like, and I like was like sweeping up floors and shit. I'm like, yo, I cannot be like
No.
seeing like people are taking pictures of me sweeping and shit. I'm like, yeah.
They're gonna be blasting you on YouTube, making their own call out videos on it.
Yeah.
What do you think it was unique or interesting about your childhood that most people wouldn't know? Anything specific?
Unique. I'm trying to think. I feel like it was like super average. Like nothing really crazy happened. Growing up as a kid, it was pretty normal ass childhood. I did have like a lot of different groups of friends growing up. So like I went to from kindergarten to 8th grade, I went to a Catholic school. So it was like super small class. And then when I went to high school, I went to a public school. And it was like I barely knew anybody, and it was like super like loner type shit. So it definitely taught me like to be friends with different groups.
Yeah.
Because even through like high school, I was like friends with, I guess you would say like the popular kids, and then like the weird kids, and then like just random like skater kids, just random shit like that. I feel like that really helped kind of develop who I am, just because I'm like, yo, like I see different walks of life, and I don't like really judge like any direction that anyone's going.
Yeah. So were most of the kids after that Catholic school, they weren't going to the same high school as you, or what was?
No, some of them did. I had like my best friend Miguel, like since like a little kid. He went there, but then he got deported when we were freshmen in college.
Come on.
It's wild. And so he's like not allowed to come back to America. And shit.
Damn.
He's in Mexico right now.
They said, no, you're not allowed to come back.
Well, it was like some drug shit, and then he got popped, and he wasn't like a citizen, so they were like, it was one of those things.
I thought they just pulled Miguel right out of class and they said, you're out of here. But if there was something, if he kind of got the attention
it was
on
some
him,
like drug shit, and then basically, because I didn't even know about it. Like I knew that he was like trapping weed, but it was like a little deeper than that.
Yeah.
And then basically they were like, he was like facing mandatory minimum of 10 years. So, or they were like, you could flee the country and just not come back. So he's like, yo,
I'm out.
peace. And I was like, yo, do the same shit, bro. Like I would live in Mexico forever, then spend a year in jail or any.
I'm all set with that. 10 years. No, I'm getting out of here as soon as possible. Who do you think played a positive role model for you as a kid?
Phew, a positive role model.
Could be family, could be friends, could be somebody you looked up to.
I mean, my dad, definitely. I feel like I act a lot like my dad now, even though I like don't mean to. Just the way he talks and shit. But I don't know. Like my parents are kind of like they're sort of chill, but they're also like sort of uptight, which I mean that's typical parent
parents
shit.
right there.
I feel like that kind of made me a lot more chill, where I'm like, don't get uptight about anything and don't really worry about stuff. But as far as inspiration, I don't even know. I mean, mostly like movies are what really like inspired me growing up. Like that's the only thing I remember where it like really stuck in my head. Like, yo, like this is.
Yeah, it was like scary movies or horror movies, right?
Scary movies, definitely.
Because at least that's what some of your style that I see.
Yeah. And like a lot of like scary shows and shit, like Courage the Cowardly Dog and like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps and all that. Definitely like stuck in my head. That's like the one thing that I really remember. Like growing up, like I always would like be kind of drawn towards the scary.
So you were at Blockbuster every weekend when Blockbuster was still a thing.
Yeah,
you
when
were
Blockbuster was popping, I definitely fucked with it. And when Netflix sent out DVDs,
you on that wave.
Yeah,
you're like, I don't need to
leave
leave anymore.
3 a week. Yeah, I was running.
I'm gonna
DVDs.
burn through them. So when you started making those videos on YouTube, and then you end up going to. Did you go immediately to West Virginia University, or did you go to Shepherd University?
So I went to Shepherd University for my freshman and one semester my sophomore year.
Okay.
So basically, how that worked is West Virginia has a thing where if they don't offer your major, you can go out of state for in-state tuition. So the year I graduated, I was like, yo, I want to do film. And they didn't have my program at all until the year I graduated. And there was a school that was 10 minutes away from me. So I was like,
y'all killing me.
It's kind of like a cool school. I definitely am glad I went there. It's like a super hippie town. Like they don't really, like on the main strip, they don't allow any like corporate or anything. It's all like mom and pop shops.
This is Shepherd?
Yeah, Shepherd.
Yeah, okay.
But the program was so garbage. It was just like the very start of it. And I took a music video class. All we did was just watch music videos. Never taught us how to like use a camera or like use editing program. So I was like, okay, I was already kind of doing music videos at the time. Like I just started like diving into it. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna make it dope. Filmed it with like a nice camera. Like took my time and edited it and all that. And then when we had our final projects, like there was a kid that like shot it with his phone, and basically everyone got an A. So I was like, bro, like what the fuck?
Yeah, nobody cares.
So I was like, yo, like maybe that's just like freshman year shit. Then next semester I took experimental video. It was the exact same shit, and it was the same teacher, and he made us buy a book that he wrote that had nothing to do with the shit. And I was like, bro,
so
like,
he just wanted to cash out.
Yeah, and it was a small ass school. Like the people there are like super cool, and it's like a super cool vibe, like super hippie shit.
Yeah.
But I just realized like I was like, yo, like if I want to get big in this video shit, like I have to network. And it's like I would rather just go to West Virginia University where all my friends are and where all the shit is popping, and then just take like journalism or some shit, just get a degree, and I could still do like the video stuff.
Because you're gonna be in a bigger market. How big was the Shepherd University? Was it small?
It was small as fuck.
Yeah,
it was like super small.
And then so you decided, let's go to West Virginia. There's gonna be a bigger market of people.
And just more fun. There's just more stuff to do. And I was like, I want to like experience college. I don't want to like go to college and get a degree and not even enjoy
the 4 years.
Yeah, the 4 years. So I was like, I'd rather just go to like a party college and just like
have fun, try to figure it out on the side, and let everything let everything fall into place. Is that where I'm guessing? At what point did you meet Neek there?
So
is that a funny story? Because you're going into it.
I knew of Neek, but we didn't meet until I went out to LA.
That's interesting.
So like, my girlfriend at the time was from the same hometown as him, so that's how I kind of like knew his group of friends. Yeah,
but you didn't meet until you came out here. So he was already living out here at the time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I didn't meet him until.
That's crazy. Yeah. And you guys went to the same. I mean, that's what I. At the same time, it's like I look at a university like that. I don't know what the actual population size is, but it's like a small city. Essentially, like there's probably 40,000 people. There's no way for you to get to know every single person within 4 years.
Yeah, we knew of each other though, and we also worked with like the same artists. So he would work with artists mixing them, and I would do their videos, but it was still, we just never linked up.
2 separate relationships.
Yeah.
What do you think changed the most about you within that like 4 to 5 years of school?
True. I realized that I don't really like drinking.
Mm.
I realized that I probably don't need to get like a job.
Mm-hmm.
I realized like most degrees are probably pretty bullshit. I don't know. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I just learned like it's okay to like just like do your own thing. Like you don't have to follow. Because I was in a frat and all that shit. And like I fuck with a lot of people in there. Like they're cool, but like there's just this like super mentality where it's like everyone needs to be in a group and like we can't do this without like everybody. And it's like if you stray away you're weird or some shit like that. And I was just like always like, yo, I'm gonna do my own thing. Like even in college, like I was in the frat, but I was still like hang out with just random ass people too. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm I'm solely frat, like I can't hang out with anybody else. It was like, nah, it wasn't like that at all.
So you feel like you learned a lot more outside the classroom than within that time frame?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I took like I took a photo class that definitely taught me like the aspects of it, because I knew like ISO and all that shit, but I didn't know like the details and all that shit behind it and like framing and ethics.
Yeah.
I definitely learned ethics.
Yeah.
I just like learned what not to do if you're doing like journalism or some shit like that, because I do somewhat of a journalism aspect of it, because I do like vlogs and stuff for Skies, and I try to stay like as fly on the wall as possible, like just no one notice you type shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's when you get like the really
The
good
best
content.
moments, because you're not up in somebody's face with a camera like, hey, talk to the camera.
Because it's just like you always act different when you have a camera in your face.
Yeah.
Because I 100% do. Like when someone like puts a camera in my face, I'm always like, oh
yeah,
what's
it's
up?
like an energy almost.
Yeah, it's like
you know?
the same. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like everyone like kind of freezes up.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't get those natural moments when you put a camera in someone's face. But
Yeah.
if you're like low key just filming without anybody noticing, that's when you get like good content.
Yeah, and then it's the best of it.
Yeah.
Now, when you're graduating, I know we kind of started off with this, but you have everyone around you telling you to get a job, but you still have like this passion. You're really focused on wanting to do music videos.
Yeah.
What's giving you the confidence to say, I'm not going to listen to everybody. I'm just going to fall through and do this?
I think seeing other people do it, seeing other directors like making their way was definitely big
Anyone
motivation.
specific?
There's so many people
Yeah.
that I was like watching. Definitely like Jimmy Regular is a big person. Buff Nerds like early out, I definitely watched them a lot. I don't know.
Just a couple people.
Yeah,
but that's all you.
there's
That's all you
definitely
needed.
a few people. I'm trying to think like in college, because I definitely tried to link and like talk to like a lot of people, but I feel like I definitely went out at a wrong way.
Yeah.
Like when I was
we
just
all
like,
do it
"Yo,
the wrong
like,
way. Yeah, everybody.
if you ever like want to work, let me know. Let's collab. Like,
Yeah.
And now I get that shit, and I'm just like, yo, I said the same thing. So I
Yeah.
definitely like,
It's a learning lesson.
yeah, and I try to keep it like if someone says some like weird shit to me, I'm like, yo, I was at that point at one time. So
You have
I
to understand.
Yeah, so I try to respond to everything unless it's just some super weird shit, and I just don't even respond. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, not gonna.
It's
We're
probably
just gonna
better-
let this one.
yeah,
I got a
I'm-
couple of those DMs.
Yeah, because there's sometimes when I get shit and I'm like, yo, I want to like go off on them, but I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna.
It's not worth your time.
Yeah,
You have
and
other,
it's
you have
just
other
like-
things to work on.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
it
worth
just
your
like
time
would
and energy.
mean. It would just. I feel like it would just be super disheartening on them to like
Yeah.
me like bash them, and then I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Yeah.
be that guy.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. So just seeing the confidence from other people, you said, I'm gonna go for this, even though people are telling me go get that job.
Well, there was also like a lot of people hyping me up. So like definitely people were like, yo, your videos are sick, blah blah blah. And I was working with artists at the time where I was like, yo, they're gonna blow up, so I'm gonna be straight. And like some of my teachers, like in my photo classes, were always like, yo, like your stuff is really good. You should intern at this place or intern at that place. So I definitely knew that I had the talent. But when they asked me to like intern at places, like for example, they were like, yo, I can get you an intern at CNN. And I was thinking, I was like, that would be cool, but like, do I really want to work at a place for free at a place that I don't want to work at eventually? Like, no.
How's that bringing any value?
So I definitely just look at it as I would rather be broke than happy than have money and just be stuck
100%.
in something that I hate doing every day.
100%. And I think there's something that nobody will ever understand that you had inside you at that time. Same thing with me when I was graduating college. It's like when somebody has a vision for something they truly want, you can't explain it to somebody else. They're never going to fully understand it. Somebody that wants to create music videos might be able to connect with you and understand, like, you got this, like, keep going. But it's hard sometimes because I almost want to, like, at the time when I was starting this, like, I wanted to scream to people, like, no, this is going to be the biggest thing. I'm going to get all these crazy guests. but nobody understands it because they're not thinking about starting a podcast, or they're not thinking about starting a music video. So it's like there's something to be said about having a vision and knowing what's the end goal. I know where I'm going. I just need to figure out how am I going to actually get there, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just priceless for a lot of people. How important was it when you were first getting started off? Kind of how you were just talking about, you were just working with like local artists and you thought they were going to blow up. How important were those early relationships of like not using them, but using them to start making videos? Because you needed an artist to at least get you in the direction of making music videos.
Yeah, it was definitely necessary, and I'm like grateful for any artist that I worked with early on.
Yeah.
But it definitely taught me how to like maneuver and like not to get walked over, because like a lot of videographers just get finessed all the time because they're like, yo, like I want to work with you, like I'll work for free, I'll work to next to nothing. And I did the same thing, but eventually I realized like you have to like realize your self-worth and realize that if your content is good, they need you more than you need them. Like they need the content, and I feel like especially music now is a huge visual thing. So it's like a video director is almost as important as a producer.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say literally it's equal between the artist, the producer, the visual. Like if you can get that team to be all in the same, everybody has a fair share, and it's not just the artist or it's not just the producer.
Yeah, like if you really think about it, like there's not a single artist that is popular that doesn't have a music video.
Yeah,
like a music video is 100% necessary for an artist to get big.
Yeah.
So it definitely taught me to like kind of like stand my ground, and like they would like say like if they said some reckless shit to me, I'd be like, nah, like I'm not doing that, like I don't need that,
I'm out.
But yeah, it definitely helped, and it helped me like kind of just like practice my shit and like what to do and what not to do and like how to edit, because pretty much everything I just like learned off YouTube and just practice.
Yeah. I feel like, man, every visual person that I've had in here, it's just always, yeah, I learned it off YouTube. I'm like, if any young aspiring videographers are listening to this, they're not going to want to go to college because they're just going to hear from every person that's been on here, learned it from YouTube. YouTube.
I mean, like film college, I feel like definitely teaches you the business side of it and like the set life of it, because like when I first started, I didn't know any set shit. Like I did I helped on a short film, and I was the guy like hitting the clapper, and like the director was just like, they were saying like just crazy shit that I was like, yo, like what does that mean? Like they would say like little terms, and I was like, I have no idea what that means. And they would kind of get like pissed off at me and just like etiquette with it. But I mean, low key, I realized like that dude was a little bit of a dickhead.
A little over the top.
Yeah, because like even like I do kind of bigger scale now, and it's just like I don't talk in that lingo.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't like, he was kind of like condescending to me.
Too much in the book.
Like acting like, yo, what are you doing? You don't know this? And
yeah.
Like I never am like that. I'm just like, yeah, let's chill.
Let's just calm down.
Yeah.
That's
like,
somebody's job too, right? Just to literally just clap.
Yeah, on shit that runs audio. Most of the like music videos, you don't really run audio, like actual like audio. You run like a scratch audio just so you can hear the music just when you line it up. But yeah, most of videos, unless you're doing like a skit or something, doesn't really run audio. But it definitely like being on that set was like, okay, this is not what I want to be as a director. Like I want to be like super nice, super chill, everyone's like down to work with me, because like a lot of the shit, like we do bigger scale videos for just super cheap, so like a lot of the times like everyone's working at a discounted shit. So I don't want to be like someone's working at a discount for me and I'm being a fucking dickhead to them. Like nah,
that's
like
not
I'll
right.
just be like, and a lot of times and like I'll definitely take money out of my rate so somebody doesn't like get fucked over with bread or anything. I'm always making sure everyone gets paid on time and all that, because that's the main thing too. Like if you don't get paid on time and you do work, because a lot of times in the film industry people get paid months after they film.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild, bro.
That's crazy how that works, how they won't literally get paid for like 3 months, and that's just a standard. Actors or actresses or
sometimes it's a standard, but a lot of times it's just them being fucking dickheads.
Wow.
And like because I like when you get a budget, a lot of times you get 75% of the budget. So
for yourself?
For just the whole video.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So a lot of times like I won't even take my rate. I'll just make sure everyone else gets paid before I get paid, because Yeah.
It's like playing the long play, though. It's like making sure that you keep building with the right people so that you keep getting higher levels instead of just taking that short-term gain of X amount of dollars and then nobody wants to work with you again on the next set.
No, that's definitely.
But it's also interesting too of like seeing the director and knowing that that's probably a position you want to be at someday and just going, that's how I'm exactly not going to do it. And just learning like, this is how this person's treating me so that when I do get in that position, I'm going to treat people better. And they're going to want to work with you more, and it's just going to keep, like, that energy just keeps, like, full circling, I feel like, for bigger opportunities.
For sure. Yeah, most of the directors that I've linked with are, like, super chill and, like, super calm. I haven't really met any, like, tyrants during directing. None that do, like, music videos.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the young bucks right now in the game, if they're young, they probably are grounded, and they're not going to be screaming at other people.
And the majority of us, like, have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Like, we do big videos, but it's like I can tell. It's just like we're just like running and gunning, and we're like, yo, you really don't need to know what the fuck we're doing. Yeah. Like the first big video I did was TK and Hard, Block Boy shit, and like they got like a whole producer and all the label shit was there, and my friend that does like a lot of producing for me now, I met him out here, just like a random kid that hit me up on Instagram, but we're like. Does like majority of my videos now. We were on set and I was like, bro, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. He was like, same. And I was like, yo, we just gotta play cool. But like, I mean, if you act like you know what you're fucking doing, like it really, because when on the bigger sets, when you're the director, it's like people just ask you shit and then you're like, yeah, do that and do that or don't do that. I thought like it was a lot more work that went into like the higher budgets, but like it's mostly the planning. Yeah. That's like really like the before planning is like a super like long process. And then when you actually get on set, it's just like
quick, okay, right?
Boom, boom, do this.
Yeah, it's crazy how much I would imagine there's probably a lot of planning that goes into some of these videos and just making sure all the right people are there. If you have to get spaces, you got to rent it out, props, costumes. Yeah, especially because I've been producing lately too. So it's like a lot of times when you hire a producer, you'll just be like, yo, I want all this. And in the past, like, it's definitely worked out, but there's just been small things where I'm like, yo, I wish I had like more say in that, because like if I would have been able to get that, I would have been different. Yeah. So I just been producing lately, so I just know everything that's happening and like can make sure that everything's on point. Yeah. What's your creative process like when somebody approaches you for a new video, from the moment of like hearing the song for the first time to then finally editing that last cut? What's that creative process like for you now? So usually when someone hits me up about a video, I'll ask them to send me the song first, and I'll make sure that I actually enjoy the song. Because a lot of times I've gotten like videos, like I just got offered like a $50,000 video, but I wasn't a real big fan of the song. Yeah. And I told the producer, I was like, because he just like sends me random bids for videos, and I told him, I was like, I don't feel comfortable writing this, and it would be unfair to them for them to spend $50,000 on a video where somebody's not like, you're not passionate about it. It was just like I couldn't rock with a song. It wasn't a bad song. It's just not your vibe, and I couldn't really think of anything for it. I think that's like one thing that I've definitely tried to like focus on, like just do work that I enjoy, because like you can definitely tell if a director doesn't feel the same energy as the artist on their song. But creative process, send me the song. A lot of times I will either just drive around and just listen to the song on repeat like for hours, or I'll just sit in my room, all the lights off, like no distractions, and just like think. And then a lot of times I'll watch movies and be like, yo, this would be a cool scene. But I'm always constantly just like pulling random frames of like cool pictures and cool just little things where I'm like, yo, that'd be cool for a video. That'd be cool for a video. But do that. So think of the song. Usually think of the song in my head, write out the whole treatment in my head, and then start pulling all the pictures of like what I want the video to look like and scenes like that. And then I write out the treatment, put all the pictures at the end of like certain scenes and how they'll look, then send it to the either label or the person. They'll be like, yeah, this is dope. Then I'll have, on bigger budgets, I'll have someone make up a budget, approve the budget, send them money. Usually they send the money like 2 days before the video, so it's like always super fucking stressful. Do that and then shoot.
Everything has gone smooth so far. We haven't really had any problems, or if we do have problems, we'll make it work when we're shooting. But I haven't had any major like, oh, this like fucked up the whole video.
Yeah.
So do that, and then majority of the time when it's like a lot planning process, the editing is 10 times easier. So
because you know exactly.
Yeah,
where
I already know like
be.
where the clips will go, and the bigger budget I try to keep more cinematic. So it's like there's no like crazy edits that really need to be involved. So do the edit. I usually spend like a couple weeks on that, and I do a lot of procrastinating when I edit, just because I'll like look at something and then edit for a couple hours, and then if I edit for too long, everything will kind of be.
You can see it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and I'll just like take a break, then come back to it and be like, oh shit, this looks like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, edit it and then send it to them, and then I usually make like a little trailer, send it to them, and they post it.
And just one small step in for it. I mean, yeah, that's like Name in the Sand came out today, as we were just talking about before the podcast started, and that was, you said you sent that over December 1st or something?
Yeah, I sent them the original cut. I think it was like a week after we shot it, and it was like November 16th.
Yeah, so you're talking 2 months, man.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the first 3 weeks of January, everybody shuts down. I feel like the whole world, nobody gets back into the rhythm of anything.
That's what pissed me off with his label, because like everybody was just like
gone.
Nowhere for the entire
last
last couple weeks of December, and I'm like, yo, like what the fuck? And then they hit me up early January and you're like, yo, we want these changes, and I'm like, yo, you guys are just hitting me up about this now.
I've been literally sitting on this for weeks now, and now you want, like, at least if they hit you back right away, it's still fresh and you're in that groove of finalizing it.
But they
you
hit
step
me back
away
and
for
I was
6
like,
weeks.
I thought the video was cool.
Yeah,
like,
I thought we were good. Nobody responded to me.
But I mean, it's all just, there's just so many hands that go into it, and they're like, one thing is you have to fight for your edits. Like, because they sent me like a whole laundry list of shit, and I was like, no. It was like they were trying to change like a lot of the aspects of it, which I understand, because like they look at it through like kind of like a third party, and they look at it how they think viewers will look at it.
Yeah, business.
But they didn't read the treatment, so like they didn't really understand the story of it. So they were trying to change like little aspects of it to like make it would basically make the video super different, and like change the whole theme of it. And I was like, yeah, that's not the vibe I'm going for. But yeah, I mean, it worked out. Like I fought for my edits. I took an L on a couple, but I mean, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
Cause like there was like small changes where I was like, yo, like I want to do this and do this, and they were like, it would delay the video. So I was like,
not worth it.
Yeah, I was like, it's not worth it. Like I work for Skies. It doesn't matter. Like it was just like small changes that I thought would help.
Make a difference, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna make a big difference.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like, because it was basically like they would have to like send it through legal and just so many, and I was just like, bro, I'm over it. Like, just put it out.
Yeah, that's one thing I've learned with just creativity is sometimes that minor detail won't even be recognized by the grand population that is gonna see the product. So it's like, is it really worth my headache of going the extra length when I know nobody's even gonna care or notice it?
Yeah.
And becomes this game. But then also too, it's like, it's your own work, so obviously you want to make sure that when you stamp it, it's exactly what you wanted it to be.
Nah, it's still exactly what I wanted it to be. They changed they just shortened the intro a little bit and changed like a couple of the scenes, like switched them around. But that's like one thing I really wish they would have kept, because the intro was 30 seconds and they were like, oh, like no one's gonna pay attention for that long. And I was
come on.
That's kind of disrespectful to like Skies fans, like saying that he's not gonna pay attention. But I mean, it's just their job. Like, that's what they're supposed to do. Like, that's what they get paid.
That's what they get paid the big bucks for, right?
Yeah.
I had read in an interview, you said, this was early on too, or I think this was from like 2017, but it said basically people telling me my videos are trash was 10 times better than people telling me my videos were dope. How has hearing feedback, like that negative feedback, added more fuel to the fire inside of you?
I think because everyone's always going to be like, yo, that video was fire, blah, 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 like, this is dope. But I want to hear, like, yo, like, you should have done this, or what if you would have done this? I like constructive criticism, but if saying, like, yo, that you fucking suck, blah, 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 like, yeah, that's motivation for me to be like, no, fuck you, I'm about to fucking stun on you.
Yeah.
But I appreciate anytime someone says, like, yo, like, you should do this, or you should do this. Like, if they say something bad about the video but give a reason behind it, if they're just like, yo, you fucking suck, like, not okay, what does that do? But if they're like, yo, like, maybe you should change this, then it's just definitely helpful. And I feel like every time that I've like done something good has been from like, oh fuck, like I'm at a low point, like someone says like you suck, or I try to link with someone and they're like, nah, shit like that. Or like I hit up an artist. I had one artist hit me up actually, and he was like, I forget what he was saying, it was just a random Twitter thing, and I just randomly hit him on Twitter. I was like, yo, if you ever want to work, let me know. And he hit me up and was like, come with a check and anything is possible. So I was like, you want me to pay you to shoot a video for you? And it was just like, it was an artist that I really fucked with at the time. And then when I blew up, he hit me up and was like, yo.
No way.
And I was just like, nah.
You just ducked it?
I told him, I was like, come with a check and anything. Oh,
let's go.
But, I mean, it was just, that was one thing that I was just like, yes. And I see it now where it's like a lot of people, like a lot of like artists, not artists, but like directors that I would hit up in the past and be like, yo, like I really fuck with your shit. And they never responded. Like some of them would be like, yo, I just saw this message and shit like that. And it's like, I understand it because it's like hard to respond to every single person, but it's good that like it's like seeing that recognition now. Yeah, it's like, okay,
yeah, it's crazy. Like people that, especially the artist that said you'll come with a check on anything at work. I'm just such a big believer. It's like I don't know how this interaction or this person could full circle back in my life 2 years or 3 years. So it's like I'm always trying to just give good energy to people, and if I don't like something, it's cool. I keep my mouth shut, and what seems so normal to me, I've realized is like not normal to everybody else. Like people that want to DM you and be like, yo, this video sucks. It's like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like you had to spend the time to consume my video and then come and DM me about it. It's like, there's a bigger problem there. Like you're too caught up in somebody else's life where it's like, you should probably figure out what's in your life and not put out that energy.
Yeah, the majority of the time I just see it as like flattering if someone's like taking that much time and energy to be like, yo, like obviously something is going on with them. Yeah. And it's not, they're just putting it out on me. It's not really directed towards me.
Yeah. It's their own, I guess, issue you could say. Yeah. How do you think Jandora Media separates itself from other music directors in the industry?
That's a tough question. Probably. Let me turn my
I got you. People blowing you up. Yo, I just seen this video, man.
Bro, I get shit like this all the time. This message has been unsent by sender. And I don't even know why they give you
You got to turn off the Instagram noties, man. Otherwise, your phone be going
I don't get why they give you a notification and then don't let you see who unsent it. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like...
Still going.
Someone is sending unsent it. I don't know what the fuck we were talking about. Damn. Sorry,
what separates Jandora Media from others in the industry, you think?
I would probably just say I'll try to stay as genuine as possible. I try to not work with just like anybody that has money. And I try to stay as humble as possible. Like if someone hits me up about a video and they send me like a shitty ass song, I won't be like, yo, you're fucking trash. I'll be like, yo, like I'm not vibing with this, but just keep sending me stuff and like maybe we can work. And I don't know. Because, like, I feel like there's so many talented artists that are just not popping. Like, I just got lucky, I feel like. Because there's people that work this exact amount that I do, even harder, and they just never pop off.
I know.
And that's one thing that I try to, like, put on. I'm like, any editor that's dope or any person that I think is like, yo, this person needs to be on, I'll let them like edit the full video and just let them take credit, because it's like I would rather have a dope video than do everything myself and it end up like not being the real vision that I could see the video.
Yeah.
I think the collab thing, I definitely collab with a lot of people and just like link up with people and do a lot of genuine shit. Like linked up with Lonewolf the other day. Cole was at my crib last night and it's just like I never am like, yo, like, you need to, like, put me on, or, like, we should, like, I never push, like, yo, we should collab. If it's, like, if we collab, it's genuine, and it's, like, no one's using one person for the other.
Yeah.
It's, like, a very equal collaborative thing, rather than, like, oh, like, let me just like put my name on it too type shit. Like, nah.
I think too many people get caught up in wanting to do it themselves for the ego. And and what happens is they miss on opportunities because they think they have to edit it. For instance, in your case, they need to edit the full video and do the colors and everything needs to be done by them. When it's like, if you want to get bigger and better, bring in people that are great at specific things, and then you can build out better relationships and you execute the project even better.
For sure.
But sometimes people I feel like are too afraid to admit that, one, they don't know what they're doing, or two, like,
they're
I
not
need
able
help
to do something.
I need help, you know?
No, I think that's one good thing with me, Cole, and Lonewolf is like we don't really treat it like a competition. We just like create art because we enjoy creating art, and that's why people see that. People are like, okay, like they're making, like when you see our videos, it feels very genuine. It feels like the artists are like super relaxed.
Yep.
And it's just like overall just an easier process when
Yeah.
somebody doesn't give a fuck about the money, doesn't give a fuck about like their name. They just care about the art.
Yeah.
And
Another thing going off of that too, it's like there's enough room for everyone to win.
that's what I'm
There's so
saying.
many artists out there. Just once again, just in your case, there are so many artists that need music videos. It's literally impossible for you to work with every single one of them to
what I'm
produce the
saying.
content. So it's like you might as well be good with everybody because everybody's gonna eat, everybody's gonna win.
For sure.
And even like you had just posted the video before you got here from the clip with Skies from the music video. And one of the first comments I see is from Cole. I'm like, that's so cool to see. Like, I don't know your guys' relationship. I don't know how long you guys have been connected, but just to see him going the length and showing love like that, where somebody wouldn't do that because they're like, oh, he's another music video director, I can't show him love. Like, I don't want to do that. You know, it's cool to see little things like that because it just shows like, oh, there is a good relationship. Like these guys are actually trying to lift each other up and both win at the same time.
No, I feel it. Like you'll never hear me, Cole, or Lone Wolf be like, yo, we're the fucking best ever. Like, no one, like, who's better than me? Shit like that. And it's just like, and I feel like when fans see that, when fans hear like, yo, who's fucking better than me? Like people will like comment and be like, yo, like this person and this person. And just like, they see like just the shittiness in you where it's like, yo, like, why do you got to be cocky for no reason? When there's people that are doing better than you that aren't cocky.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I feel like the fans definitely see like our relationship, like with me and Lone Wolf and Cole, and they're like, yo, like they're never like, they talk to each other, they hang out and shit like that, and it's never like, we still haven't done a single video together. It's not like we're like doing it to do a video. It's just like we link with each other because we fuck with each other's work and we fuck with each other as people.
Yeah. Just marinating. Eventually, you guys are gonna collab on something crazy, and
definitely.
the whole world's gonna shut down. The internet's gonna shut down.
Me and Lone Wolf were talking. We were like, "Yo, what if we did a wide neck and long neck video?" And I was like, "That was the collab."
That's the collab. If that's the one, man.
Yeah, no,
people would eat
Lone
that
Wolf,
up.
Lone Wolf is mad cool. I fuck with him. Like he just is like, we have the same energy. Like when he was on set, like video commissioner was like yelling at him like, yo, like it's 3:30 and you haven't shot anything, and he's like, nah, we're good. And I love that. I'm like, yo, like, and it still works out because it's like, as soon as one person starts stressing out, it stresses the other person
Domino
out, and then the
effect.
artist is stressed out, and then the artist doesn't even want to fucking be there.
Yeah.
But if you have the same mentality where it's like, as the artist, where it's like, yo, it'll work out, like it's gonna be dope, then everybody on set is just like chill and snooze, because tension on set is weird. Like if it's like a weird, like, you can just feel energy when it's like not a genuine thing.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
Yeah.
Like when I did a video like that, it's just like I hated the whole process. I was like, yo, this is not what I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely try to keep, like if I do a video, I try to like build a relationship with that artist before. So it's not just like me meeting them on the first time at the set of the shoot, because a lot of times just artists,
there's an energy, man.
Yeah, an artist will be 10 times more willing to like work with what you have and like stay around if it's just like they know your heart's in the right place. But if they know that you're just like trying to get money and like, oh, like this is gonna get me huge if I work with this artist, then they're like, yo, I'm only here for like 2 hours, like get what you need to get and I'm out.
Yeah, you want that comfortability so that there's not like this sorry, these things always fall off, but you want that comfortability so that it almost like gets them to not be open, but there's just a flow to it, like the energy. When you can
feel
build
loose on camera, and like you can see if someone is stiff on camera.
Yes.
Just like
you don't want that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Skies, so you've done a lot of work with him. I mean, just to name a couple: Lettuce Sandwich, Rude, Lust, which you worked. M9 Matt Arnold was there for that part of that session. Shout out to a previous guest he's a good homie of mine. But looking back at like the last couple years, how much has your guys' relationship evolved?
So,
and how did you guys first meet? I guess would be the first question I should ask.
Bring it back. So I met Skies for the first time when I was at West Virginia University.
Okay.
So I think he had like 8,000 followers at the time. This was in DeSauce was the first video we did, and it was shot at my house in Morgantown. But he literally just DM'd me, like local rapper, local videographer type shit, like, yo, if you ever want to work, let me know. I was like, yeah, like, I'm down. He sent me a song. I was like, yeah, this is dope. Came through, shot it. It was like super chill. And it was just like a different direction than his other videos. His other videos, they were good. Shout out One Room Media. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it just went a little bit of a different direction than his old videos. And then he kind of like was like, yo, this is kind of the direction I'm more leaning towards. And then we shot another video in, where were we? Some beach. Myrtle Beach, I think. Or Virginia Beach. Or Ocean City.
Is this like, what are we talking, 2014, 2015 maybe?
No, this is 2016.
Okay.
So I think March of 2016 is when we first shot or February of 2016 is when we first shot our first music video. And then so he was in high school at the time. And then that summer he did like a senior week trip and went out and shot a video for that. And then kind of like ever since then he was always like, yo, like let's do shit. And then probably in the past like year and a half is when we really like, when he started getting bigger is when we started like
really doubling down.
Yeah, really like, yo, we need content. And that's when like even the early shit, like I was pretty much there for like everything. Not the recording because he recorded in PA, but like the early meetings and like the early like, yo, like this is kind of like the way we want to push the brand. I was there for like pretty much everything.
Wow.
Like sleeping on fucking floors in Jersey because we didn't have a hotel to stay at, and like running in the rain to a meeting with a label, and then we're 15 minutes late, and the label's like, yeah, we don't want to meet with you, you guys are late. Yeah, it was the same day. It was literally slept on a floor and then went to the meeting, and it was like super dark. But he took that as motivation. He was like, yo, fuck them. Yeah, I'm gonna get a better deal. Like, fuck them. I don't need them. And it worked exactly what he did.
And it worked
and
out.
They're probably super fucking blown.
Yeah,
because it was a smaller label, but it's definitely a widely.
So even for
label.
just a short period of time, let's call it 2.5 years, it's been quite a growth for you guys.
Yeah, it's just like we both struggled together. Like we both had fucking no money in our pockets, especially when Skies like stopped selling weed because he's like, yo, I don't want to do any shit that's gonna fuck up this music shit.
Yeah. So
it's just like we were both just dead fucking broke, but it was like, I feel like low key we were a lot happier. Like now it's just like Skies can't be a normal person. He can't just go out and get a fucking hamburger by himself because he's gonna be mobbed, and like there's always a risk of like him getting robbed, because that almost happened to us one time. Because the dude came up trying to take his watch and shit, middle of the day on Melrose, like.
On Melrose?
Yeah, on Melrose, right outside of Round 2.
Are you kidding me, bro? That's like the most poppin' area
on a Sunday afternoon at like fucking 1 o'clock, and we were just like, what the fuck. And it's just like that definitely made him look at his life a lot differently and kind of just be a little bit paranoid. Yeah. And the whole shit with X, and just like,
yeah,
because this guy's had an i8 same fucking color as X, and he was like, yo, like,
it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And it's just like we definitely struggled, but it was like it was a fun struggle. It was never like, yo, fuck this, like we don't need this. Yeah, it was like, yo, fuck this, we need money, like we gotta make this work.
Yeah.
But ever since then, it was just like we're very to ourselves people. Yeah. And I feel like that's what he kind of like fucks with me about. And it's just like, I know that he'll do anything for me and I'll do anything for him type shit. Like if I had $100 and he had $0, I would give him $50.
Yeah.
Shit like that. And I know he'd do the same shit. And it's like, I feel like he knows that I don't like use him for shit, and it's like a genuine thing. Like I'll fucking like sacrifice shit to make sure that he wins, because like he's he's the main dude. He needs to win. And it's just, I don't give a fuck about what I do. It's just like, as long as Skies is straight, we're good.
But when you're in that, see, that's like the true, that's why I love like this type of platform, because you get to hear like these stories of like the behind the scenes of like being broke. And like, I'm not saying that's good or cool. It's just like, you guys literally are just sleeping on floors, and you just have this genuine belief in each other, and you just slowly grow. And it just, that's what you want to see happen, because now, like him or probably like you get people that are just reaching out, looking for favors. And it's like, when you come up with somebody like that, you know each other. Like, this is about the friendship before it was ever about money.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely clicked, but for some reason, there was never a doubt in my mind that Skies would make it. I was like, yo, like, I know that he's going to make it, just his energy. And it's just like, I feel like we all felt something. We were like when we were doing the shit, we all felt like, yeah, this is going to be
This is
bigger than what it was. And so I remember a time, I think it was 2017. Yeah, 2017, right before Thanksgiving or right before Christmas. It was one of those. We had a show in New York. It was like Skies, Landon, and it was right after Peep died. So I think it was like November. We went up to New York City, had a show. And I would say at most there was probably like 15 people there.
Wow.
So flash forward 1 month in January when he dropped his album, had the Lyrical Lemonade show in Chicago. 1,500 people sold out. And it's just that little month. And it's just like that. I feel like that was a defining moment where we were like, bro, I can't explain it. Like when we walked out on stage and just saw a sea of lights, we're like he knew. It's like, we made it. Like, this is the fucking moment where it's like, all right, bet. Like, if we did a movie, that would be the moment where it's like, oh, fuck. And then it would be the montage of us getting all lit and shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was cool.
You're right around the corner from something big. That's what I was literally talking to my man Kirk before you got here. It's like, you never know when that's going to come. You know, like, it could be today. You get an email there's a career changer or a phone call, or when this podcast comes out, somebody sees it and then hits you. You know, it's like I try to trick myself into believing that every single day, like even in the lows of maybe not getting the results I want, or he's not seeing, you know, he's seeing 15 people in front of him. It's like tomorrow, like maybe tomorrow is going to be the day, or today's the day, you know. It's just like, you always, I don't know, man. It's crazy how that just kind of, it's like a light switch. It goes from nobody cares, nobody's paying attention, and then all of a sudden you're like the star, and everybody wants a piece of you. It's
always darkest before the dawn. So like that's it. Because like on that show we could have been like, yo, fuck this, like fuck music,
literally.
But we were just like, I mean, we were all like pretty fucked up too. So we were like, yeah, like this is lit, whatever. But now I feel like it's just like we're in this box where it's like we have to keep going up. And I feel like that's good motivation for us, because we still, besides like having money in our pockets and like having a place to like stay and shit, everything is exactly the same. Like shit hasn't changed, just people know to like, we can't move the same way, but we still do the exact same shit. We just chill at the house and like don't do anything like too crazy, like never like inviting mad girls or anything. It's just like we're super low key. And that's why you really don't see any weird ass drama with Skies, because it's like we don't get involved with the drama. It's like we don't fucking hang out with a lot of people, and the people that we do, we just know that like they're on the same,
it's good energy,
same energy as us. We know that nobody's ever like, no girl is gonna be like posting like some random video of him sleeping, because like he just doesn't do that shit. And I feel like that's just like a good thing, just like staying off the internet. Because it's just like super toxic, and just super like people switch up stories for no reason. You have to stay away from that. You guys got off the tour this summer. You were with Wiz Khalifa, Ray Strummer. I think the tour itself was 28 cities, but you guys were on 24 of them. Was there any big takeaways for you on the tour? It's a massive summer tour. Big takeaways, I mean, we definitely saw how those bigger artists move. Like bus wise, and just like people that they have on their team, and just how they set up their stage and how they perform.
How big of a travel was this? How many buses, trailers?
Oh fuck. So we had one bus, and it was me, Skies, his manager Craig, DJ, tour manager, and driver.
Okay.
So there's 5, and it's just like majority. So his DJ is like pretty older. Craig is pretty older. It's like almost 30s type shit, not like super old.
Yeah, I got you.
But it was basically just like me and Skies chilling the whole time, because like they would go off on their own thing, and we would just like sit around and fucking. It was fun at the times where it was the show, but the majority of the time it was pretty boring, because it's just like you're sitting around.
You just count the clock. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna go mob down city.
No, but after like the first few weeks, we were kind of just like didn't want to like be in anyone's way, like just chill in our green room. But then like eventually we started like, oh shit, like we can go in their green room and chill and shit like that. And they had like mad dirt bikes and shit, and we were like kind of like sketched out to ride them, because we were like, oh, I don't want to like take the bike from somebody. But then at the end we were just like always on those shits.
You become boys, bro. On tour, that's what I've realized. People just become, it's like brotherhood, you know? You just get to know people and you shoot the shit, and you get to hear stories, and it goes from like this awkwardness of we don't know any of us doesn't know each other, to now I feel like I've known this person all my life. Yeah,
it was cool. Like we just me and Skies are definitely on the same level of like not wanting to like overstep our boundaries, or not being that guy where it's like, yo, what is this kid
got
doing?
too drunk, did something stupid,
so it's just like
stupid.
Skies is very self-aware, and just like tries to make sure that like he's not seen in a bad light for doing some dumb shit, so he just sticks to himself, which is a very good thing. And it's just like he doesn't want to like, oh, I'm gonna like be hanging out with Ray Sherman so I can like get pictures and shit like that. It's just like, nah, he's like doesn't give a fuck. Like he'll fuck with him. And I think that's something that like a lot of artists fuck with him, because they know that he's not trying to like get anything off of anybody else. He just wants to do his own thing.
He just wants to learn, be the quiet one in the room. Kind of what we were talking about earlier about the camera. Like you want to capture moments, and as if you're like a fly on the wall. And it seems like that's kind of what he wants to be. Is like he just wants to be in the environment, but he's not there to take an ass from other people.
No, I feel that. And Skies tells me all the time that he says that he doesn't feel like he's famous. Like he knows that he's famous, but he doesn't feel any different.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good, because not letting the ego, or he's letting that get to his head.
But he's trying to be. He's gonna be like, because he wants to be more lit, and he's like, yo, I need to start just.
He wants to get bigger,
like,
right?
Fuck it, like I'm fucking lit, and it's just. I think he needs like little, because when he does a show, he like kind of reiterates like, okay, like I am fucking lit. But then when he doesn't have off shows, and when we're not doing videos, we just get in this like super depressed mood where we're like, yeah, like what the fuck are we
You don't have any attention. There's no attention on you guys right now.
But once we start like realizing, like going out and be like, okay, never mind, we are lit. Like
he's probably feeling good right now with the music video dropping.
Probably. I think he was asleep. Like when it dropped, I was like, yo, like I don't even think he's awake right now.
Let's check his phone later and see all the notifications. I mean, clearly you're gonna continue to keep working with him and some of the artists that you're working with, but what else would you like to see happen with Jandora Media as a brand?
As a brand?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to always continue going down music videos? I had read in an interview that you talked about maybe one day doing movies.
So my end goal is definitely movies. And I don't know if Jandora Media will be connected with my directing of like shit like that. I would love it to. But you never know. Yeah. Like, I would love it to be like a production company, and it's just like or something that is super genuine. Like A24. I love A24. The super good studio, but I would also love to fucking direct for A24.
Yeah. So if the opportunity came knocking,
so I would just be like, yo, I'll fucking take my name off of that and put A24 all day. My end goal is definitely movies. I've been trying to write scripts. And that's really where I get most of my inspiration from. But I still love music videos, and I would still like a dream would be like shoot a movie and then do like a couple music videos a year and just be straight. And like live in some random remote place where I live in the jungle and like chill all the time. Yeah,
you can go to the coffee store, nobody knows who you are.
But I don't know. Yeah, because like I know that movies. The shit that I deal with labels and shit, I know that movies, the fucking head execs of movies are just tyrants too. So it's like, it's gonna suck. Yeah. But I mean, it's worth it. Like if your product is good enough, the studio's not gonna touch it.
Yeah. But you'll find a way to make it work if it's what you really want to do.
But that's the end goal, to do movies. I would love to do that. But like, Like drama or a scary movie, but not a traditional scary movie. Like a scary movie that's scary because of the writing rather than like shit jumping out at you.
Like woman gets killed or something like. Just...
Like Hereditary is like one of my favorite movies that I've seen recently, just because it's so fucking scary, but it's not like traditional shit where it's like, oh, there's like a ghost. It's just like you don't know what the fuck is happening. You don't know if they're crazy and it's all in their head, or you don't know. I love shit like that.
You just want to keep people on their toes, though.
Yeah, and it's just like when you see a movie, a lot of times you see a scary movie and it's just like you get scared, but you don't really feel scared.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh shit, that scared me, but that wasn't really scary. When you like after the movie, you're like freaking, like you feel like something. That's my end goal, to like make somebody physically feel something from a video.
Speaking of feeling, the jacket you wore in here today, that's yours. That's your branding.
Yes.
What I've seen in the past, you rolled out merch. I think you teased a couple of days ago that you were going to be rolling out more merch pretty soon. What's like the energy or the feeling you want people to have when they rock a jacket or a t-shirt or something of yours?
So my main goal with my merch is I want people to wear it that don't even know who the fuck I am. Like they think it looks cool. Like, yo, I'm gonna buy that. Because I'm not really like, it's cool to put like little Jandora Media thing, but like I really feel like no one's gonna wear like big Jandora Media across
they
their
don't want to be a walking
like,
billboard. They don't want to be a walking
like,
billboard.
I want it to be like cool designs, and all my main goal is just to have people wear it. Like as long as people wear it, like I don't give a fuck. Like it's just amazing to see that people actually buy it.
Yeah.
Like people that I don't even know are buying my shit and wearing it and like tagging me. Like I love that.
Yeah. I mean the design itself it pulls you in, like the skull with like just the craziness to it.
Yeah, so it was actually, so I got this in Paris. And
really?
I made this on like Photoshop, and it's originally supposed to be like a normal skull.
Yeah.
But when he printed the thing, it fucked up. And I saw it and I was like, yo, that's fire as fuck looking.
Wow.
Got it tatted. Wow. And then I just put it on shirts and shit. I was like, yeah, that's clean.
What were you in Paris for? What was that for?
We were in Paris. I was with Skies in Landon, and we were just doing a press run right before his tour, his Dark Rose tour, Life of Dark Rose tour. Yeah,
pretty cool to be in Paris, man.
No, it was lit. Skies liked it, but he's definitely a homebody. So he doesn't really enjoy traveling as much as I do, and he doesn't like being in like super fucked up situations where it's like I can definitely see his point of view, because people would look at him crazy. Yeah. You're in a different country with a bunch of face tats. People are going to look at you crazy. Yeah. And people are mad rude out there.
It's also, too, a difference when you're traveling for business or something like that. Or touring,
and that was another thing.
He's not there to go and get coffee in Paris and like get some great food and walk around, but you're just business, running around, going to different spots. It's not really like that full experience of traveling there.
I think that's a reason why I enjoyed it, too, because like we would go to like Hypebeast and like Vader and shit like on these other countries, and I'm like, yo, like this is sick.
Crazy.
But he just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yo, like and the majority of the time he's fucking like doing shit, and I'm just like sitting around like smoking weed and shit. Like he's upstairs like getting a bunch of photo shoots done, and I'm like downstairs eating pizza and wine with Landon. So I definitely see like
you and Landon are like, we played our cards,
and
right,
it's just
man.
like especially the interviews, it's just like they ask these same fucking questions over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, so I heard in a line where it says your tattoos give you motivation. And it's just like, bro, like you know the answer to that. Like why are you asking that? And it's just like bro, you're a fucking journalist. Ask cool questions.
Go deeper.
And it's just like, I feel like he can really tell when like someone is just interviewing him rather than someone is like interested in what he 100%. Has to say. Like, oh yeah, I know about this, or I know about that. Like the Nardwuar shit was sick.
Bizarre.
Because he's like, yo, how the fuck do you know that shit?
I don't think anybody ever goes into a Nardwuar interview and is not like blown away by it.
See, that's what you're supposed to do on an interview. You're supposed to ask shit where you're like, yo, what the fuck? How do you know that? You know your shit. Yeah. But if it's like you do a fucking Wikipedia page and like, okay, he's got tattoos on his face, lyrics, tattoos, motivation. All right.
I mean, I've only been interviewed a handful of times compared to the amount of times I've interviewed, but even just listening to interviews now that I've been doing this for quite some time, I look at it as like studying and trying to understand why they asking certain questions, and that to me has been the biggest difference. It's like you could have easily looked up where this person's from, but yet that's your opening question. So, Nick, where are you from? Like, you could have easily went on Google and like looked up that he's from West Virginia, and then maybe use that as a starting point to ask a deeper question. But it's like some people, they just don't do the research, and I think that separates. At least in my world of journalism, it's like that's what's going to separate you, is being able to ask deeper questions versus, yeah, tell me about the line and the X song, I don't know. People just...
That's just something we get used to. Because, like, even... I feel like me, Skies, and Landon definitely see it where it's like we get these cool things, but there's always just, like, one little thing fucked up with it. Like, when Landon... the Red Roses shit got on Billboard. It said Lil Skies featuring Landon Cube. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then there was one that was like Lil Skies featuring Landon Cube. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And it's like, these are big publications. Huge. Where it's like, how are you fucking up that?
Oh, that's bad, man.
Yeah, that's just little shit.
Details though make the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a little detail like that of Googling and figuring it out. But some people, they just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, that probably just comes down to, like, whoever was entering the shit.
Yeah.
Just didn't even care.
Screw them. I want you to think back to the young Nick, the young version of Nick, when he was first kind of just getting started with this whole music video career and getting his stuff off the ground. Yeah. If you had to give him one piece of advice, what would it be?
Fuck. Keep working.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like, that's the only thing that I can really think of, because it's like, I feel like I've always been, I definitely believe in the thing where it's like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And even looking back, I see like just little small choices that I made and like decisions that I made and people that I chose to hang around with influenced where I'm at right now. Like, if I didn't do this wouldn't have happened and I wouldn't be here. But I definitely, like, after watching, you seen Bandersnatch? It's a Black Mirror episode.
Okay.
And it's basically like a choose your own adventure shit. But they basically like go super like trippy into it. And he says he's like, you don't make choices. Like, it's already decided what the fuck you're gonna do. And I definitely feel like I believe that. And it's just like, it's very weird. And I believe in like manifestation. It's like, yo, you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna make it happen. And that's basically what I've done with my life. It hasn't happened as quickly as I would like it, but it definitely has happened, and I definitely believe that it'll continue to happen. I'm just gonna keep doing exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, keep showing up, keep punching the bag.
Yeah. And one thing I've definitely, like, probably last year, the last few months, I felt very comfortable just because I was like making good money, and I was like, yo, I don't need to like go out and link with these people. And this year I'm definitely like, yo, I'm gonna link with as many people as I can and just kind of like put myself out there more. Because I do that shit and it just makes me a lot more happier. Yeah. Just like sitting around in my house all day, I'm just like go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like you never know what that one relationship could take you to the next position. So it's like, yeah, even though money's coming in or jobs are coming in, it's like maybe I should go grab coffee, or this person's reaching out, and how can we bring value to each other? And you know, it's that unknown, I guess, sometimes makes it kind of interesting.
I definitely suffer from a little bit like social anxiety. So I'm trying to like kind of get out of that and literally just say yes to everything. Like someone asks me like, yo, you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And just like hang out with random ass people. Because I've definitely had bad experiences with linking with like photographers and shit like that. Just because they don't know how to act around artists. Majority of the time I'll be like, oh, like a photographer hits me up. He's like, yo, can I shoot for Skies? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, like whatever. And then they just end up being super weird and just super like making Skies uncomfortable. So it's like I do a very thin line with that. So I'm trying to like not do it as much. But I definitely have met a lot of talented ass people and cool ass people just from that. Like a lot of my best friends now are just like from Instagram type shit. And it's like we linked that way. Yeah.
I mean, it's good that at least you're giving people that opportunity, but all it takes is one to screw up, and then you're just like, why am I doing this? You know?
It's definitely, like, I have so many stories that are just like, bro, like, it's just people that are not self-aware to like how they look. And it's just like, bro, like, that's not how we move. Like, we're super chill. Like, you don't have to be doing all that. But I've definitely linked with more talented, cool people than I have shitty people.
Mm.
Like when I first got out here, I was shooting the Signs of Jealousy video for Skies. Random kid hit me up named Xandros. He's like, yo, like if you're in LA, I'm out in LA, like let's link. I was like, yeah, sure, like pull up to the video. And he was super chill. We ended up taking him on the tour, and then he just did the Real Ties video for Skies. And I was just like, bro, like keep winning.
Keep going.
Yeah. And so like I definitely kind of liaisoned that to like help them out, but it's like I don't need the credit for that. It's just like, yo, he deserves all the credit for that because it's his content.
Yeah.
And I was never the type of person that like put somebody on and then being like, yo, I fucking put this person on, I did this for this and this. I hate that about people. That's my number one thing where it's just like, bro, like you can just do something for somebody and not have to
keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, especially online, bro. It's like it's a difference when you're like telling somebody like, oh yeah, like I did this. But if you're like, yo, like I need to be respected too because I deserve my credit. It's like, no, bro.
It's one thing if you're shouting somebody out and thanking them for helping you connect something, but it's another to be like expecting like.
Yeah, because then it's just like, yo, like, did you really do this to help me out, or did you just want to like?
You wanted to make yourself look better.
Yeah, it's just like, nah, you got to do it from a genuine aspect. Yeah. And that's another thing that's like I try to do. Anything that I do for Skies is like I don't need to tell everybody what I did for Skies early on and like the shit that we went through, because it's just like that's between us. And I don't do it for the recognition. I do it because I want to see that person up. Like that makes me happier than a bunch of people being like, oh yeah, like you put him on. But I'm not saying that I put Skies on.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I'm saying just like in general of like doing that. It's just like it doesn't feel genuine, and then that person does not want to associate with you. They're not going to be like, you offer them something, they're like, no, I'm going to do it myself because I don't want you thinking that like you're helping me.
Yeah, it's about the intent, man. It's about the intent. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but I had somebody recently come through. They were supposed to shoot behind the scenes for me another time, and they came here with the wrong intentions and immediately just assumed that I was here. They were here so I could hook them up with previous work or people I've had. And the problem I have, I'm always trying to help people out. I love connecting dots that don't give any value to me because I love seeing the people in my circle like succeed. It fires me up. I just love seeing people grow. Yeah. And I know that I can't do everything. So it's like if I connect dots, I will. But when I see people coming to me or just coming to opportunities with an intent of like, I'm only doing this because I expect that you're going to do something in return for me. Yeah. That's when there's a problem. And it's just like, I hope that people learn from mistakes like that of like you can't go into an opportunity or relationship expecting that just because you help them out in one instance that you have this card in the back of your pocket that you're going to use at a later date. Like do it and just hope that maybe it will work out one day, because it more than likely will. But if you go asking for it and you overstep, you just look like an idiot.
Yeah. It's definitely, people can tell your intentions. Yeah. And it's very easy to like tell.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. It's very shitty.
What scares you the most in general?
Fuck. Just in general.
What scares you? What scares you the most?
Oh man.
It doesn't have to be like, I'm not saying like spiders or anything like that, but like what keeps you moving? What keeps you motivated? What scares you?
Staying stagnant and just like people, because especially in the video world, there's always going to be someone that's going to take your spot. There's going to be somebody that's better. And I don't want to get too comfortable. That's the one thing. Like getting comfortable and not doing, like losing my passion to do it correctly, rather than like, I don't ever want to be like doing it for the money. That's my main fear. But I don't think it'll really happen. But I mean, you never know. When I'm a fucking like 40-year-old man, it's like, yo, I have kids and shit. Yeah. But I mean, it's definitely scary thinking about like 20 years in the future, because it's like the way content is changing, how easy it is to film music videos and shit now. It's definitely lowering the price of music videos and just kind of like oversaturating them. But I don't know, I feel like I'll always still figure something out. Like, I don't try to think too much about it, because then makes me stressed, and then I'll change like the path that I'm on, and I don't want to like do that.
I think it's very easy to overthink about the future or the past and something you had just recently said about, I forget what you said specifically, but like, you are where you're supposed to be at the moment you're supposed to be. I forget how that exact line goes, but it's like, that's what I try to tell myself. And I also I think it's important to have like an idea of like the bigger picture of what you're working towards. But if we sit there and we stress out thinking about, am I supposed to be doing this podcast 20 years from now? Am I supposed to be making music videos 20 years from now? It's like this big question mark. Like, you don't even know, like you probably didn't expect to be where you are today 6-8 months ago, or even a year ago. So it's like, how the hell are you supposed to know where you're supposed to be this time next year, or even 6 months from now? It's like, once again, an opportunity could knock tomorrow. You could get a call from that studio, and then all of a sudden you're making movies, So it's trying to be present and not overthink it too much about the past and the future.
I definitely feel that. I feel like people that overthink the future too much are the people that are like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a safe job. I'm going to go the safe route because then when I'm this age, I guarantee we'll be fine.
Yeah. But like calculated risk almost.
I would rather fucking be broke as fuck when I'm 45 and happy that I lived all my fucking hype years than like, oh damn, I wasted my 20s and my 30s fucking working this shit ass job. Yeah. And now I have money, but it's like, what am I gonna do with it? Yeah. Like, money definitely does not make you happy. That's one thing that I learned, like making money. I'm just like, yo, it's definitely the same, and a lot of times it causes more problems.
What do you think? What have you found to be the thing that makes you the most happiest? If money isn't the thing.
Working. Just like creating content and seeing like when I get DMs being like, yo, you inspired me to like do this, I'm gonna be like fucking quit my job and I'm doing only video, I'm moving out to LA, shit like that. That's just like, okay, yeah, like I want to be more of like an inspiration to people, being like, okay, like this person did this, so I can do it too. Like how I was looking at the higher up people, like, yo, like this person did that, I want to do that too. Basically just like I want to leave a mark on something. Like I want to leave my legacy of being like, okay, like this helped this section of something. Like
there was one fan question I did have that I wanted to incorporate, and we've pretty much touched a lot of it, but just to summarize it, this is coming from Luke, and he said, what's your best way of networking / finding work? Especially, I'm guessing this is probably somebody that's early on and trying to break in.
Instagram is your best fucking friend.
Yeah.
Especially like Instagram, Twitter. Great for networking. That's how I find a majority of the people that I link with. And one thing that I would say is go about it genuine. Like if I see, even like when I see an artist that I fuck with, I'm like, yo, I really fuck with your music. Yeah. If you ever want to work, let me know. Yeah. Super short, super simple. Never like, yo, like I could like do all this and blah, I'll work for free. Like, please just give me the opportunity. It's just like, appreciate someone's work and just put it out there. If you want to work, let me know. But never be like too pressed. Never be like, yo, can you like give me advice on this or advice on that and advice on that? And it's just like, I was never the type to like ask for advice. Yeah. I can see like I asked a couple questions, but it was never like, yo, like, do you think you could like post my video like on your story, or like if I paid you to do this? Like, never pay for any relationship that you have online, because it's not genuine.
Yeah. It's going to break off pretty quickly too.
Yeah. And it's just like, less is more. 100% less is more. Because when I get so many fucking messages, like someone is like, say someone sends me a shirt and I'm like, yeah, this is a dope shirt. If I wear it, I'll post a picture of it. I have people that are like, yo, like, can you just like send me the picture? Like, what the fuck? Like, you haven't sent me the picture. And they'll send like every other week. And it's just like, yo, that really makes me not even want to wear the fucking shirt. Because you're like, as soon as I wear it, then I know you're going to just use it for promotion. And that's one thing that I've learned with the clothing shit, especially with Skies, because I have people send me fucking shitload of clothes all the time for Skies. And they're always like, yo, like, if you can like snap some photos and send it to me. I'm like, bro, like, you got to pay for that. Like that, like, he's at the level now where it's like,
that's bringing them money.
Yeah. I'm just like, that's free. Like, why would he do that for you? But he definitely, like, Half Evil, he promoted them, and they're super genuine dudes. They were like, yo, like, if you want to do a collab with Skies, let me know. We'll split the bread. I was like, yo, bet. Like, showed Skies this shit, and now
there's relationship.
Yeah, and it was just like cool, genuine shit. But I mean, just he wasn't too much. That's the main thing. Like he was like, yo, like he had his own thing. Like he wasn't relying on us to make his name. Like he already had his shit, and he was like, yo, if you want to do a collab, that'd be cool on those parties. And it was like, Skies didn't have merch at the time, and that helped his business a lot.
Yeah.
Like it helped fucking bring people towards his page, and it was just everybody won in that situation.
Yeah. I think it comes down to just being professional. Like even though you might not be at the top or you might not be exactly where you want to be, it's just being professional about it, because people are going to see it and they're going to be more open to having the conversation when they see a brand that maybe only has 300 followers on Instagram, but yet they treat it great. And they're saying, you know, the intro email is great, short and simple. We like your music. We like your work. Let's work if you're ever interested, versus somebody who has, I don't care, 100,000, but it's like, yo, bro, like we need to do this. And like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I think what is probably normal for us to read through, to the most people, they don't see it. And so it's like, they just like figure sending these mass emails with all this paragraphs of explaining themselves. It's like, no, that's not how you go about it. Just
I
like,
hate, bro, when I have to read like a whole paragraph. I'm just like, do not send sob stories.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck. Everyone struggles.
Yep.
I've just say what you need to say.
Yeah.
And say your intentions, because I don't want to read 3 paragraphs
You won't.
to find
you
out
won't even read it.
what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like you send me all this shit, and then it's just like, okay, like I'm trying to figure out what you want. And
I usually
like,
look for the question mark. I'm like skipping.
Yeah,
Where's the
it's
question
just
mark?
like, it's
and
just
it's at the
too
very
much.
bottom. It's like that's all you had to ask.
Yeah, it's just like I never go into it trying to get people to feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Pity. You
It's
can't
just
do
like,
that.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, no one wants to work with like a sad person.
Yeah.
No one wants to have like, oh,
That
like,
energy, man.
I mean, it helps sometimes, but it's never. I really don't think that it helps a lot. I feel like more people go towards like someone that's confident rather than someone's like, yo, like I deserve this. Like my life sucks. Like someone needs to give me something. Like no.
Yeah.
Like everyone's life sucks.
Yeah. You just got to do it. You got to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's like when anyone asks me advice, they're like, yo, like how do you work with these artists, or how do you do this? And it's just like, yo, I really don't know. It just happened. Like it wasn't like I was like, yo, like I need to work with this person, so I'm gonna like do everything. It was just like it just happened.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but I just tell them, I'm like, yo, just keep working.
Yeah.
Like every story is different. There's no formula to get big. It's just do the work, find artists that you genuinely fuck with and that genuinely appreciate your work, and I hope it works.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really tell you anything.
Yeah, you kind of have to just put out the good energy, like work with the right people, keep your head down, not ask for too much, and kind of hope that one of those relationships just kind of pops off. And clearly it kind of happened for you, you know?
Yeah.
Before I get into the closing questions, this is when I reverse the role. I allow the guests to ask me any one question. It could be about something we talked about today, something you want to know about me. 2 rules. 1, it can't be a question that I asked you today.
Okay.
And then 2, it can't be directly about the podcast.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
That's usually the hook, but it tends to be the same questions about the podcast. I mean, if you have
What
one,
are questions people have asked you in the past? Just so I can get like in general.
I mean, everything. Somebody asked me how long have I been growing a beard. Another person asked me what's been like the biggest lesson I've learned from a podcast.
All right,
What makes you happy? All
Where do
different
you
stuff.
see yourself in 10 years?
10 years?
I know that you don't want to think about it
Yeah,
too far ahead, but
Yeah.
where in like when you're a kid, you're just like, yo, this is what I'm gonna be as an adult.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Like when I was a kid, I still had no clue of what I was gonna like become. I remember I definitely at one point, which is so typical for I feel like a lot of people, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I realized I hate reading, and that's like literally the thing.
Being a lawyer,
It's just not.
It's mind
just
blowing how it just
from the outside looking in, it just seemed like the coolest thing. I get to wear a suit every day, and
like,
it looks
be like order in the court.
order in the court.
I object.
Yeah,
No, I feel it.
give me the money. But I realized that wasn't me. And so now, at least in 2019, right now, in 10 years from now, I think this is going to be the projection. At least the last couple of years, I've started to really figure out what I think I'm supposed to be doing on this earth. And it's something in the lines of like people, content, talk show type stuff, entertainment. You know, one thing I always tell people, and it was it kind of triggered in my mind when you were talking about Jandora Media of like, you know, maybe this isn't going to be the media company for when I make movies, right? I think it's very important to not get emotionally attached to things. And for me, for instance, like this podcast, Purpose in the Youth, like this has been a great piece to getting me to where I am today, and I'm going to keep running with this as long as the tank is fueled up. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that in 10 years from now, this is what I'm going to be doing, you know? But I know that I'm going to keep riding this wave until it doesn't make sense anymore. And I'm going to keep creating content to the best of my ability. But I just think that in the long play, in the 10 years from now, it's going to be being who I am on a massive scale, being very genuine, surrounding myself with passionate people. I just love making content and putting out there to the world. You know, even when we briefly met when I came through with Nick, like that's like a new series that I'm starting to get into, where the podcast was really my first footsteps into entertainment, social media, putting a voice into the world. And it's just, you know, it's great sit down conversations. But the What They Don't See series was now pushing myself to create something so much different than a podcast. Now you're talking about moving pieces and variables, and you're going into people's studio locations. And so I don't know. I would like to see myself, I don't know, get into more content in 10 years from now, whether it's talk shows, whether it's like a Netflix series or whatever series is out there at that point. I don't even know what the next one's going to be, but it's going to be the bearded man on just in content, and hopefully just making dope ass shit. Because I love being in front of the camera. I love the energy of it. And I really love seeing like the reactions of people from just me. The reactions of me being authentically myself fires me up when I can see that people get inspired by it, or they get inspired from the conversations that I'm having. So we'll see where we're at from 10 years from now. Maybe you'll be shooting that movie and you'll need a star for it, and I'll be in acting at that point and try it out. So you'll have to keep me in mind for it.
You would do acting though?
I would try it. I like. That's the thing. I think I'm not gonna like it because I understand how much patience goes into that and how much like work it actually is. I think I'm just sold on the fact of like being a star, and like 99% of the people in LA, they just want to do it because it looks cool. Yeah. But if I'm big on like, if an opportunity presents itself and I think it's of interest, I gotta try it. I just gotta do it. Yeah. I'm not going looking for acting gigs. But if somebody called me tomorrow and said, yo, we got a music video, we need a guy with a beard, you're going to be driving a car with this badass chick to your right with a convertible drop top in Malibu, sign me up. I'm there.
Are you hinting that you want to be in one of my music videos?
Maybe. I don't know. You got one planning, dude?
Maybe.
I
might write in a bearded man.
Yes, let's go. So I'm not like against the idea. I definitely would love to try it and really get a sense of what it's like to be on more of like a set. And I don't know. I love the energy of it, and I think I could execute the emotions and what would be necessary of it. So
it's tough.
Yeah.
Because we did it for this sketch comedy shit, and it's just like, it was just me and my friend filming it. It was still like, you get nervous.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like
whole squad.
So that's why when I do have like somewhat acting and people fuck up, I'm like, yo, like I know it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good.
And it's just like, yeah, just keep doing it. We'll just keep doing it until we get it right. Like, no worries. We're not stressed that you can't do it. It's all good.
Especially, it's a whole nother game of, with music videos, it's just the emotional acting, right? Like there's not lines involved. So that scares me. When I like would love to try the acting of like, there's no lines. I just have to be a person and put out the emotions.
Like,
but then you throw in actual lines, and then you have to know what they're saying, and I need to know. That to me is a whole nother ball game.
And a lot of times, so we'll say like we bring on an extra. We'll be like, yeah, we need extras. We won't tell them what the fuck they need to do until the day of the shoot. So we'll be like, okay, you're doing this. And they'll be like, what? Fuck?
Yeah, because you don't want them to overthink it. Yeah. One, and then two, you don't want them not to show up because they're too scared to do the thing.
No, we had like a little bit of problems for the grave shoot, the zombie video. Just because like I kind of let people know what the fuck was good, but that it's still definitely not easy.
Yeah.
That was a fun thing casting, because I would be like, yo, doing a video for Lil Skies, blah, blah, blah. Need models. Need extras. And I would have so many, like, Instagram, like, girls being like, what's the details? And I'd be like, you'd be a zombie. And they're like, I was, like, covered in blood, like, just zombie. And they're like, oh, like I don't really feel comfortable doing that.
my
But I'm like, would you feel more comfortable being like half naked shaking your ass than like actually like
being
portraying
being something, being
and
somebody.
it's just like that's why I try to like definitely don't do a lot of like just random girls. Like I try to like steer away from just having a girl in the video if she doesn't serve a purpose. Like it's sometimes it's like demeaning, it's like fucked up. It's just like, yo, like you really just want to be like a piece of like ass in a video. It's just like I would rather like give you a role and like have people being like, yo, that girl was sick in that video, rather than being like, yo, who's that fucking thought in the video like shaking her ass.
Yeah, giving them more intention of like a piece of the puzzle than
yeah. But I mean, there's girls that just dedicate their whole life to solely being like, oh, I want to make sure that I look good and like all this. But it's like, that's why the girls that we casted were just like, like I'm down to like fuck, bro. They were literally it was pig intestines filled with spaghetti, and they were like biting it, and I was like, you don't have to do that. But
those are the ones you want to keep in your contact list, because you know they're down to do whatever.
There's one scene where this girl, it's like a sick ass scene where she's like eating and she has like red contacts, and she was just a PA. She was like helping out the makeup team, and we were like, yo, we need more zombies, and she was like, I'll be one. And I was like, whew.
Thank God you're here.
Yeah, because I was like, yo, I was like, you guys can pretend like you're eating it, but we don't really need to have you eating it. Like, if you want to do it, you can. But I'm not making you do it.
No. Just
but
make
they
it
were
look,
with it. They were like, yo,
they were committed. They were part of the team.
Yeah,
part of the squad.
It helps out, and I was like, yo, thank you guys.
That's awesome. Closing questions for you. One, where can people find you on social media? Where can they find all your work?
So all of my Twitter, I think I have a Twitter and an Instagram, both Nicholas Jandora, NicholasJandora. That's actually my name. A lot of people don't know that my name is actually Nicholas Jandora. Right? Like, people are like, yo, what's your real name? And I'm like, it's fucking Nicholas Jandora. Like, YouTube is Jandora Media. I think if you type in Nicholas Jandora, pretty much anywhere you type in Nicholas Jandora,
it's gonna come up. That's a very unique name that people. I don't think there's much of them.
That's why I kept it. Like when I was, because when I was doing like the AIM shit, I always had like crazy like NJ Blink 182 or Green Day Forever, shit like that. And then when I made like my Instagram and my Twitter, I was like, yo, I forget who it was, but I saw that it was just their full name, and I was like, yo, that's kind of cool. And I didn't want it to just be like Nick Jandora. I was like, Nicholas Jandora sounds very like, no one ever calls me Nicholas unless they know me from the internet. Yeah, majority of people call me Nick or Jandora.
Which one do you prefer the most?
Nicholas just
sounds fire.
It sounds cool, but it's just I can tell that we're not friends. Yeah, like you don't know who I am. But a lot of people call me Nikki too, because Skies called me Nikki on a video.
One time.
Now people are like Nikki and shit like that. I'm just like,
you're not on that level with me. You can't be just calling me Nikki.
But it's mostly his fans that do that shit. It's just like fan pages and shit.
That's hilarious. Before I ask the last question, thank you for coming in today. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Thank you, bro.
And I'm sure you got many things that you could be doing right now, but
I'm actually about to go do my taxes right now.
I'm glad we could delay that before you came in. But appreciate Neek connecting us. I definitely respect what you got going on. You're a hustler. You're a go-getter. Especially kind of hearing more about where you're coming from, small town. You know, maybe people weren't necessarily telling you should be doing this, but like to see and hear first person, like, you had a vision, you went through some low shit, you made it, and you're making it happen. Like, that's what this podcast is all about. Yeah. So I appreciate you sharing the story and being open with me today.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure. Last question for you. For somebody that's listening, hasn't figured out their passion, hasn't figured out their purpose just yet, what's the best 2 to 3 pieces of advice you'd give them?
Oh, fuck. Do what makes you happy. Unless it's like some illegal shit where you're gonna go to jail. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't focus on the money. Definitely don't focus on the money. Focus on what you like to do, because it doesn't matter how much you fucking get paid. If you're sad, you're sad. Yeah. And if you're doing shit you don't want to do, you're not gonna be happy. And then just take any discouragement or any low points as motivation, because no one ever really made it in anything without losing once. Like, you have to lose to win. You have to see the dark points to appreciate the high points. And just don't get discouraged. Just if you believe something and you want to do it, and don't let anyone fucking tell you otherwise.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Nick Jandora, baby.
Gotcha.
Thanks for coming in, brother.
Anytime, bro.
Appreciate it.
See you.